it's occurred to me that I've been a little off the past few days. My apologies for that. A little stressed out. Not quite sure what to make of it, but I read last night that a Louisiana judge, a federal judge at that, has blocked this mandate for all 50 states for healthcare workers, which, of course, includes me. So, we'll see how my company reacts. I'm not sure that they're going to be taking this very well. But anyway. You know what day it is. Of course, it's Wednesday, the day of Odin himself. So we're going to do a nice little rune casting. And just for the record, I redid my nails last night. I had to do them 2 or 3 times, and somehow the thumb on my left hand still got dinged. Not sure how that happens, but it was perfectly fine before I went to bed. I woke up with some divots in there, and I'm like, reckon I ain't too happy about that. But I'm going to do 6 of these today, instead of the usual 3. Mainly because I would like to get a little bit of a clearer picture and just see what we're doing today. So, who are we today? We are Yggdrasil. So Yggdrasil connects everything. And I seem, if memory serves, because I'm still trying to wake up here, if memory serves, we got the 9 worlds yesterday, which means everything is connected. And with everything being connected, it was the where we go one, we go all kind of card. And for those who are offended by that statement, well, I don't recall anyone having complete ownership or trademarks over those words, so here's something that I wanted to share with you because of this card. Rather than telling you the meaning of it, I wanted to get this through to you. Because this is indicative of something. We're part of something much larger than ourselves, but I find that these words are a little more fitting for some reason. We'll know the context in just a minute. I am now holding up, sending through, being with, sending forth, connected to everything. I am life. So let's see who the guide is today. Well, none other than Loki. And before I go on with Loki, I do have to say something. I'm not seeing this as like a particularly bad omen here. I know some are probably tensing up, but don't. If you stay through to the end of these videos, normally there's a little graphic that pops up with the Raven code on it. I found that image and it resonated with me. But in that image, it does say, use cunning and trickery to defeat your enemies. And believe me, both Odin and Loki have used it in just about equal measure. Odin himself has used deceit. He has gone to the hall of a king before, and he was informed ahead of time the king that is, he was informed ahead of time that a wizard who sought to do him harm was coming. In reality, he was going there to sort of test that king and test his hospitality. But today, we're given the option to play around a little bit, develop our gifts of oration and clear speech. Try a little more of a lighthearted approach. And maybe it'll uncover someone who isn't genuine in our lives. So it's not that Loki is our guide, it's what he represents that is our guide. So let's go to the runes and find out what's going on. We have Tivaz, Othala, and Wunyo. Tivaz is usually our card that represents justice. It looks like, so far, combined with Othala, and of course Wunyo, that raised flag of victory. It looks as though, well, I can tell you this much. This looks to be a little bit bigger of a scope than just us today. Because believe it or not, some of us are handling things. Some of us are taking care of some of you. And I think that's being seen. Plus, with Othala, what I'm seeing with this is the very foundation and bedrock of our nation, in particular, the U.S. And I still see us winning. So, our situation is justice. Our action is going with is remembering why our ancestors set this nation up the way it did. And why winning is so important there. But now to the why of this, I want to see if we get a little clearer picture. We've got Gabo, we've got Awaz, and we've got Nalthiz. Now, Gabo is our gifts, our talents, our abilities, the things that we were given by our Creator. It's high time we honor those, but we also have very, very forward movement here. And at the same time, we're being called to have a little endurance. Nalthiz also asks us to break free from obsession, because we're usually obsessed with things that we don't need. And that is something Nalthiz represents very much so, a need. Ladies and gentlemen, I submit to you that if you feel that you need medical intervention in some way, for the sake of your health, go ahead and do it. But if you don't, if you know what bad feels like, and you don't have anything going on that's concerning you, then I leave it to you. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not here to give you medical advice. What I'm saying is, do what's best for you. Determine what it is you need. And I think we can stop being a nation of hypochondriacs at this point. Letting go of the fear, which is the real pandemic. is a great first step toward claiming our victory. My goodness, my mouth is dry. It's usually that way in the morning. It's better. Something funny is I thought I had purchased yesterday I went out for tea. I purchased, went to the tea aisle and I found Earl Grey and English breakfast. I thought I purchased one of each. Turns out I just purchased 2 Earl Greys. Got home and realized my mistake and I was like, damn it. But that's okay. Earl Grey is fine. It's rather tasty. And I do recommend it. It's a good thing. But going back to AWAS for just a minute, with that particular card, I've seen a lot of people uproot. There are states, and I came across this yesterday on the web, there are states that show how many people are just quitting their jobs. Now, they're not quitting their jobs and going, well, I'm just not going to work. They're quitting their jobs for something else, something better. I can tell you one thing right now, with the nurses who have been quitting or getting fired, many of them become traveling nurses, where they make a lot more money, and they can go anywhere. And to my knowledge, they're not bound by this mandate, which has been, of course, blocked. But now that it's been blocked, I wonder how many people will be getting their jobs back or going and demanding their jobs back. Remains to be seen. It's important that we look back on the past to see what our ancestors did right, rather than living in it and holding on to what they did wrong as an excuse to play the role of a victim today. So, we do have a choice in our lives today. That choice is endure and hold strong. And we can celebrate a victory later. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. That victory isn't assured unless you actually put some agency into it. It's just not. Now let me put it to you this way. You do what's best for you. Do what's best for you and your family. The other option is that you give up your victory. You give it up easily. You let your enemies win. I'm gonna say this. I don't really have a whole lot of faith in people. I have faith in my gods. I do not have faith in people. Especially in large groups. One-on-one a person can be pretty intelligent and articulate. And they can even come across as very enlightening. But once they get into large groups, it goes out the window pretty quickly. Look around at your groups, ladies and gentlemen. How many of them encourage you to be the individual? The right of the individual to be an individual must be maintained. That's the only way I see this happening. And this isn't just for one group or another, this is for everyone. So which of those decisions will you make today? So tomorrow we return to our regular reading, just like the one we do on Monday. And then of course Friday is well on the way, and you know what that means, Full Scale Friday. Speaking of things of full scale, December 25th. December 25th, on Hangouts, I will be hosting a little Christmas get-together right here. Your vaccination status does not matter. If you have no one to spend Christmas with, you can spend it with me and a few dozen other of my friends. We'll be streaming off and on pretty much throughout the day. I will be giving you the gift of a free tarot reading. We're talking full scale. We can do straight tarot, we can do straight runes, we can do all of the above, including oracle cards, whatever it is you want. I will be doing them live, right there in Hangouts, and I will answer one question for each person, that being you. I hope you'll join me. I hope if you have no one else to spend Christmas with, you won't spend it alone. And even if you do, I hope that you'll join us anyway. And maybe cast the whole thing to your TV. I know we have that ability now, right? We can throw it from the phone or the tablet to the TV and boom, there it is. This Sunday there won't be a live stream, and there won't be a live stream because I'm not going to be here, and I can't really find anyone to take my place like I did last time. So this Sunday there won't be one, but you know, it's okay. Well, I got things to do. We're going to take a little break for this coming Sunday. In any case, thank you so much for joining me. Just remember, everything you want is on the other side of your fear. All you have to do is defeat your fear. But even if you choose to hold on to that fear, the one thing that I ask of you is do not get it into your mind that your fear must also be shared by others. You take your reasonable steps, what you think is necessary. Do what's best for you. Again, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for having your tea or your coffee or your morning breakfast with me. As always, it is a pleasure doing this. Even on my worst days, it's the one thing that I do that I love the most. Take care of yourselves and each other. Always do what lights you up. And as always, my friends, shine on. And I'll be on Hangouts doing single card pulls. That'll be while this edits down. Okay? Alright. Feel free to join me. Hello. Just doing a little cleanup. You know, here's something else. Just wanted to share this. I'm gonna leave Loki's card right there for a minute. I usually don't advocate this, but today I think I'm going to. And mainly because there's a story to tell. So, there was a school, I do not remember where it was, but the school decided to adopt a policy. They wanted to eliminate backpacks for everyone's safety, of course. And in this action, I'm gonna need to put that card back. Well, in their infinite wisdom, they wanted to eliminate backpacks just to keep everyone safe, don't you know? And so, I think it was a high school. They kind of look like teenagers to me, so I'm going to assume it was a high school. These high schoolers did something insanely brilliant. They were absolute mad lads and lasses, and they decided to bring their books, the massive amounts of books they had to carry, in rolling garbage cans, big trash bags, and any other kind of implement that they could pull together, some in tackle boxes. And someone had brought up the point, as they were cheering these students on, as you do. So, as these students were complying with this mandate from the school in such an epic way, someone pointed out that's the way to do it, and they said the words, and I will never forget them: malicious compliance. And to this end, I have to applaud those students wherever they are. And if anyone knows the name of that high school, please drop it in the comments down below. I will be more than happy to applaud them in the next video, because that is one thing I talked about with a couple of friends when I said, if I'm forced to take this garbage, then what I intend to do, I intend to comply, but it will be malicious. I told one of my bosses, just keep the higher-ups away from me, because I don't think that they're gonna like how I do it. I've got a few tricks up my sleeve, by the way. Let's just say they may win the battle, but that war will be far from over. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. But that's the point. That's one of the things I saw on that card and didn't think to point it out until now. But I wasn't going to let it go. Here's to all of you who comply with malicious intent. Oh, Loki has done some malicious compliance before. In fact, he's made a wager to a couple of the dwarves who forged Thor's hammer. And when their gift was judged the absolute best, and he had bet his head that it wasn't, well, they went for his head, And he went, my head is yours, but I never said you could touch my neck. The dwarves looked to Odin and the rest of the gods, and they were like, hey, you made the deal with Loki. You should have been clear on those terms. Clear oration and speech, ladies and gentlemen. And so, realizing this was a battle they couldn't win, they stitched his lips shut. We starting to get the picture now? If you have to comply, do it maliciously. Find all the ways to give them what they want and make them absolutely regret it. That's my advice. That's just my advice based on one card. The rest of the reading still stands. I'm going to get this in the can though. Alright? Shine on, you lovely people. Shine on. You crazy Herkimer diamonds. You pieces of moldavite.